Welcome back to Client Side Chats. We've been continuing a series with Grace Marin, who is the founder and president of PX Coaching Limited. Hi, Grace. How are you doing?
Good. How you doing, James?
I'm doing great. Hey, and this is the fourth installment of four. I have to tell you, it's been very insightful, and certainly it does play on a number of factors that if you want to be a successful leader, what you need to know in doing that, but also be successful in everything that you do as well. And as a safety professional, I look at this from the standpoint of safety management systems and things like that, because those are so critical to being successful with what we do in our organizations. So all these techniques can apply here. They can apply in your background as a nurse, but for anybody else who is out there in different professions. I know we were talking offline. You were saying that some of your clients that you have, only one of them is really from healthcare. The others are managers and leaders in different industries, which I think is great. It shows how this applies to everybody, how we can work with all the different types of people on the DISC model that we've been talking about through these four. So Grace, take it over, please.
Thank you. So, hi, everybody, again. And just as a quick overview, I've been a nurse for over 30 years, and my clinical background was in NICU, and now I own my own company, really focusing on really effective communication, predominantly in the healthcare industry, but it really doesn't matter. A lot of people I coach are not necessarily in healthcare, and this actually applies even with your personal relationships. Sometimes some of my clients say, "Are you a marriage counselor? Because I could really use this at home."
That's a good thing.
So, what I'd like to cover today, and it just as an overview, D stands for dominance, I stands for influence, S stands for steadiness, and C stands for conscientiousness. And this is based on 90 years of research. And this is not to pigeonhole anybody into a particular style, because the truth is we are a combination of all four. However, we tend to have a affinity to either one or a blend of two styles. So what I like to go over today is I'm looking at my own report today, and I
Good.
with you because each report's going to be customized. So if you were to ask me to be your coach, for example, I would absolutely have you do a DISC assessment online, and then it immediately gives you your 20-page report. And it doesn't stop at telling you what style you are. It gives you tools on how to work with people who aren't you, and to give you more an understanding of why people behave the way they do, and also how to finesse each relationship to get your point across and to be able to have that other person feel like you're reading their mind and that they would want to talk to you. So you can imagine how helpful that would be in marriage, with your kids, at work, wherever, right?
Yep. Yep.
So
Absolutely. Well, this is going to be good. We're going to learn a little bit more about you now.
yes,
So, yeah.
so a little spoiler, I'm an S style. I've tested myself twice, and I consistently come out as an S style with what we call a shading into the other three styles.
Ah,
And so that's something that you'll see with different reports. Every report is unique, like your fingerprint. And I've administered this to a lot of people. Never have I gotten the exact same report for any one person. So it's really fun. So I'm going to read to you on my end how the D style feels to me. So I'm going to just read to you some adjectives. So
ah.
for me, from an S style perspective, when I'm relating to a D style, they come off to me as being demanding, blunt, forceful, and dominant. So they're kind of negative adjectives from the S style. So wearing my S sunglasses, okay?
Yeah, because as a D style, you're figuring you're not being that way with the way you're actually coming across in
Yes.
communicating in leadership. Okay, got it.
Because if you were a D style and you got your report, when you look at the S style, you might have a very different adjective grouping than I do.
Right.
You would
Got
have
it.
a very different thing. So as an S style, again, I'm going to share with you what my perception is, my lens, when I work with, talk to, relate to an I style. And the adjectives that an S style would say about an I is that they seem very talkative, very friendly, very high spirited, and even a bit scattered.
Huh,
Interesting,
interesting. Yeah,
right?
because then if you're looking at this as someone to lead or work with, you're thinking to yourself, oh, gee, what projects or what things do I
Yeah.
really want to collaborate with them on versus what I don't? That's fascinating. Okay.
Cool. So now, even though I'm an S style and working with another S style, you would assume, but we'd wrongly assume that you would get along with a fellow S style. That's not
Mm.
necessarily the case because not every S style is going to be exactly the same S because each
Ah,
person has different shadings. They might be an SI or an SC. So it's not as perfect as you might think. So as an S style, I might think that that person is considerate, caring, understanding, and gentle.
uh-huh.
And there are parts about knowing how I am that sometimes I don't know about you, but I get on my own nerves. I'm like, why can't I be a little bit less caring and considerate and,
Uh-huh.
put myself forward? So you can almost see that being too similar can be irritating as well.
Got it. And I would almost think it could be, and maybe this is just the perspective I have,
Mhm.
is competitive in some
Yes.
respects.
Yes.
Ah, got it.
Especially if you're a D style, another D and a D, it's like two alpha males. That could be a problem, especially if you've got a team that has tight timelines. And
Hmm.
so that'll be important to discuss with each other, knowing what style you are to be able to have productive conversations and not get in each other's way and step on each other's toes.
Right.
So the last is the C style. So for me, as an S style, the C style, I perceive them to feel detached,
Hmm.
precise, analytical, and reliable.
Interesting. It almost seems like the D is the one that has the negative perception, but that's the one you're absolutely across the,
Yes,
opposite to you. The
yes,
others, you're seeing other values that are you're bringing out to a strength,
yes.
but yet from the other person's perspective, they're not seeing it that way. They're actually looking at it in a different way, and how they perceive you is a way that you probably don't really believe that you're projecting.
Yeah. I mean,
Ah.
when I do these workshops,
Hmm.
and I have people in different quadrants of the room
Hmm.
in their particular style, and in most cases, they work together in real life. So finally, they get to see each other with the grouping that they're in. And what I found is it's almost like a light bulb goes off.
Wow.
Oh, that's why that person is that way,
Yeah.
and etc. And so I'll give you one small example. I did this for a large group of nursing leaders for a hospital that I work with. And the chief nursing officer happens to be a I style, an
Oh.
IF style. And one of the people who were D style said, oh, maybe that's why our team tends to be like a culturally a very S style because of her, and also because we're in healthcare. And so this report also goes further. If let's say I did the 35, 36 leaders, this report actually aggregates everybody's style and gives me one group culture style to say what the
Ah.
overall group's culture is and how you operate as a team, as a whole.
Oh, cool.
Interesting, right?
Yeah, very.
And once as a group you do this, you can actually, there's an online app where you can compare yourself with the other person to see where they are on the sliding scale with certain behaviors and certain ways of thinking. It's a very, very wonderful, comprehensive tool. So that's all I have today. I
Hey,
hope this is helpful.
oh, this has been very helpful. And I know, just to remind everybody, that Grace does have an online course. She is available, obviously, to consult with, work with, all of those things. Very helpful. I can tell you, we're using this, and really look forward to continuing to be able to work with you as well into the future. Grace, I think that would be wonderful.